It's Big East schedule release day. You're locked on UConn.
You are Locked On UConn, your daily podcast on the UConn Huskies, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for making Locked On UConn your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Before we dive into today's show, just want to take a quick moment to ask you for a small favor. Make sure you're subscribing to the show. Follow all the audio versions wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Transistor Radio, wherever you do it. It really helps the show grow, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate the support. It means the world to me. It keeps us going strong every day. And when I say us, there's a lot of people that do production on the show. So really appreciate that. Download this. Also, this is brand new. I've been wanting to do this for a while. Got with Bleeding Blue for Good. Every single follow, subscription, download helps add revenue to the show, and we're giving a 10% donation of all my monthly revenue to Bleeding Blue for Good. So by supporting Locked On UConn, you're directly affecting the UConn athletic program. Thank you so much for being part of this community. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial at NFL Sunday Ticket. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. All right, back on the show. Let's bring in my guy, Little Red, our resident road warrior for Big East release schedule day. Right now, I'm going to pull up the schedule. Which one are you looking forward to? And tell me why. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, I mean, the first game, obviously, the Big East opener. But my eyes are on Saturday, December 21st at Butler.
Okay.
Got a lot of heat last year in Butler, rightfully so. I want all the smoke on the road that any of these away teams and these away environments give me. So, I mean, Saturday, December 21st, that's a pretty easy one to get to. I see a lot of activity on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Guys already talking about heading out there. Jared, Basil, just to plug a few guys in, but I'll 100% be in Butler on the 21st. Working the way down. It's unfortunate that the away game at Xavier and the away game at Butler aren't on the schedule within like a week's time this year. That was like the origination of my road trip last year. That was the origin. Outside of that, I don't know. It's kind of tough. That a lot of hate for this schedule, honestly. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I haven't had a chance to digest it much today because I've been working a little bit and then I had to go run out to the store. But now that I'm back and doing a show, I think the prevailing theme is that there's too many middle of the week games for so people, especially people that want to go to games that are local to UConn or just a diehard fan that go to all the games or season ticket holders. There's not a lot of Saturday games at home. A lot of the games are on the weekend. And I think they do that, and I hate that they do this, but I feel like they do this to add revenue because when UConn goes on the road now, they're the show. You know what I mean? So if they go to St. John's, they go to Seton Hall, they go to Creighton on the weekend, it pumps up those numbers. It's probably going to get sold on anyway, but you're probably getting more TV revenue or TV eyeballs to these games, ratings, etc. So I think that's the reason why it's not a good enough excuse in my opinion, but that's essentially what I'm seeing.
Not to steer any listeners or potential live listeners away, Font is holding the spaces, and I was in there for a couple of minutes quick, and a Xavier fan jumps on, and Connecticut fans have no right to complain about the schedule. This is what you get for trying to leave the Big East for football. It's all the smoke. Some people are so bored online that we're just like creating reasons to get upset, myself included. Extremely bored. Just waiting on this three-peat. I spoke about it with Exit 68 the other day. We're just attacking one another. The main goal here, schedule release, season's getting closer. I think once like Halloween rolls around, then the juices start flowing. I'm still in a little bit of early football, late baseball kind of mode. But once the schedule released, you start mapping out the trips. And, I saw that Villanova is hosting us on campus. First time since 95, which
it's awesome.
I have to go to that one.
Oh yeah.
I've never even been on campus at Nova. I want all the smoke there. That was a great atmosphere last year.
I will say that and we'll get to this in the second segment more in depth and I'm going to tell you why. But my favorite games on the schedule essentially are, well, you know what? Let me go pay some bills, and then I'm going to tease you guys, and we're going to come back and talk about my favorite games on the schedule coming up after this. With my new daughter arriving within a week, life is about to get even busier. That's why I've been using Factor to stay on track with nutritious meals without the hassle of cooking or cleaning. Factor's ready-to-eat meals help me fuel up while managing all the chaos. If you're trying to maintain a healthy routine, no matter how hectic things get, Factor has you covered. Factor offers fresh, never frozen, chef-crafted meals that are dietitian approved and ready just in 2 minutes. Whether you're looking for Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, or Keto, I do the Keto or Protein Plus. Factor makes it easy to eat well, even when life gets busy. With 35 different meals, more than 60 add-ons every week, you'll never run out of new flavors to explore. Whether you're crushing your wellness goals or just want a delicious meal, Factor has options that fit your lifestyle. From premium ingredients like filet mignon, blackened salmon, to easy breakfast options, Factor keeps your kitchen time at a minimum and your meals amazing. Head over to factor.com and use the promo code with factormeals.com/LockedOnCollege50 and use the code LockedOnCollege50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month's order. That's LockedOnCollege50 at factormeals.com. Get 50% off and 20% off your next month's while your subscription is active. All right, let's get Little Red back in here and look at this schedule again. You're muted. Let's unmute you. You know who we need to get on Factor? Not to keep plugging my my sponsor.
Milkman.
UConn sausage. He always gets the tuna. Like he gets tuna every day.
I've been on Factor. Honestly, it's delicious, man.
It's great.
It really is solid. The only thing I'd watch out, those boxes are just so easy. I'm not going to about pre-made meals, but it's so easy to continue to stay on it. Honestly, it saves me money in the long term.
It saves money in the long run, but also the problem with me sometimes is if I have two in a day or like at a sitting, then you're not actually doing what it's supposed to be.
Right, that's the problem. It's too good.
That's an issue. So watch out for that, and you're all good. I think I'm gonna send my guy a promo code to see if I want it. All right. Well, the two games that I have circled on my calendar for two very obvious reasons. One is the March 1st at Providence, for obvious reasons, their little brother, and at Creighton on March 11th, because I want that win in Omaha. That's honestly, if you took away, forget about even the Providence game. That Creighton is the game that I want, and I will be really pissed off if we go there and lay another egg. It has nothing to do with these guys. It's a tough trip. It's a tough place to play, but I want it to be more competitive, and I want them to, play like champions.
I wish I was more stat driven, because I do believe that Hurley's never won in Omaha.
No, he has not.
So, I mean, that was an unbelievable shooting performance. I mean, they
for sure
thanked us last year. That was incredible. I'm so bad with
Ashworth.
Ashworth, thank you. I just turn the brain off, honestly, when it's out of season. It comes and goes for a little bit. I'm a little spacey. But if you take the dates away from the calendar, you're not looking at Wednesday game or Sunday game or Tuesday or whatever have you. I like the way it's spaced out. That might be a kind of a lukewarm take, but we start with Gonzaga, Michigan State. We're in the Maui. Tough couple games at MSG. We're getting the Big East play. It's kind of spaced out. You got Xavier and Butler, preferable matchups. DePaul, preferable. Then you got to test, on a Sunday, January 5th, in Connecticut against Providence. Then you got a rebuilding Nova program, Georgetown. Then you got tough Creighton. Then Butler, Xavier, DePaul, Marquette, St. John's, Seton Hall, Nova, St. John's. Then it starts to kind of ramp up that third quarter portion of the schedule. We're not a January basketball team. We have not played well in January. It's well known. And we have a pretty decent January. Kind of take that back a little bit. But the schedule is preferable leading into January. We can kind of get our feet wet, get the new guys acclimated.
Yeah, I also think I talked about the non-conference schedule yesterday too, which was, you play 5 bye games and then you go to Maui and then you're playing a game against Baylor that's at home. Then you're going back to Texas on the road, one true road game, 5 home bye games, and then one neutral site against Gonzaga. So people, I mean, I personally, that's a champion slate. The reason why I say that is because when you win back-to-back titles, you don't have to play 4 or 5 true road games. You don't have to play multiple, not many people play multiple tournaments, but you don't have to challenge yourself early because you know the type of program you have and the type of kids that are in your program. So I think this schedule sets up for the type of players that we have this year, meaning a lot of good returning folks. Some folks that returned haven't proven much of it yet, outside of maybe Jalen Stewart, a little bit of solo ball. So the guys who are returning we can kind of see what we have, right? We can see what we have with the freshmen. We can see what we have in the rotation. And I think by the time December 18th rolls around, we'll have a pretty good idea of a couple different things. One, whether or not Dan Hurley is going to not necessarily change his philosophy, because I think his philosophy is pretty steadfast, but the type of rotation. He's got 10 really talented players, maybe 11 if you want to go that deep. I don't know if he does that. I don't know if he will do that, but I think he'll do that early to kind of see what he has. But when he gets to Big East play, I think you see that to trim down to 9, 8, and then 7 in games that he's, pretty, he knows he wants his best players on the floor. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. Really, it's the talent's not a question. The scheme and everything, we know it's genius. We know Luke's putting in time. Kamani's everybody, top to bottom. Even like the graduate assistants and everybody, honestly, everybody involved. Just grade A facilities, grade A staffs, grade A players. Finding the rotations is always key. The minutes, certain games, opponents, and knock on wood, like if we ever have like a serious injury on the team. Last year we had a little bit with Klingon, and we kind of found ourselves a little bit. Had to dig deep for a little bit there. I'm really excited to see Samson. I really do feel like it's crazy coming off back-to-backs. I feel like this is the deepest team that we've ever seen at UConn. I don't understand an argument against that. I don't really support an argument against that. I'm excited to see our guard play, our bigs play. Samson's stacking up, putting on the weight. Haney, like everybody. I'm just really excited, and I'm more excited for Hassan to really lead the show. He's really deserved and earned everything that's come his way. Headband Haas. I'm really, really excited to see him lead the show because everybody's looking at him as the leader here.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think for me, of the guys that you mentioned Hassan, of the 4 sophomores that stayed of Steph's class, who obviously went pro, who are you most interested in their game? Obviously, take Jalen Stewart out of it. We saw him play last year. Obviously, if that's who you're excited about, I won't begrudge you that pick. But I kind of feel like we know what we're going to get from Jalen. I think he's going to be very, very good. The 3 other gentlemen there, Solo, Jaden Ross, and Youssef Singari.
Stop there. Ross.
Okay. That's who you're looking forward to.
Huge Ross. I'm a big believer in Ross. If he gets his time to shine, we always hear about it like little snippets in practice. Explosive. He can fly. He gets to the rim. Super athletic. I believe in Ross so much, man. And like my word doesn't really mean anything. Who cares if I believe in him? I think the fan base will definitely support him. I mean, he's patient at the end of the bench. He didn't transfer out. He's staying. Imagine not getting a lot of burn, sitting the entire year on the bench, and being the first one off the bench to grab your teammates, dap them up, be the first one to celebrate a breakaway dunk. Always a smile on his face, very neutral, great attitude from everything that I've seen. Very quiet, reserved, but he's just ready to yam on you. I love it. He gets to the rim. It's like almost Andre-esque how he can fly. I'm really excited. You could say solo ball too. Little thing when we were doing at Jay Timothy's, Mahaney's on the mic and Taraban's on the mic, and I saw Ross and Ball on the side, and I'm like, you guys are my dogs. Like, we believe in you this year. Not to be out of sight, out of mind. Let those guys present, but like I had to give them like my 10 seconds there.
Sure.
Like, you guys see me at all these games. You guys see me going nuts. Like, I'm ready to go nuts for you this year. I can't wait to watch those two.
Well, I echo that. I think Jaden's going to be a heck of a player. And every time, without fail, when they have media availability for Dan Hurley, he always mentions Jay Ross. He always does. So I know he's looking forward to it too. So that's special as well. Coming back from the break, we're going to find out. Looks like, I feel like we already know that he's going to head to Butler, but we'll see if there's any other road trips that Little Red is going to be going on. And we'll talk a little recruiting. I'll talk about mostly just about how crazy it is that these guys just went to the White House and visited recruits in suits coming off of a visit to the White House for a second straight year. Let's go pay some bills and we'll talk about it. You guys know about FanDuel. We talked about it. They're our title sponsor. We'll have something a little different for you now. Through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket. Obviously, if you need to have YouTube or YouTube TV, then you will need a YouTube TV base plan. You'll be able to watch every regular season game, out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account, current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. Also, if that's not enough, check out games tonight on Thursday, prime time. Also, all Sunday, you get a FanDuel's Profit Boost is in the app, and use it for FanDuel's double your winnings for all of the Sunday 9:15 games and all of tonight's games. Just one, I believe, right? View your account page now to learn about the boost. FanDuel.com. Download America's #1 sportsbook. LinkedIn, my old friend, where have you been? When you're hiring for a small business, finding the right talent is and effectively is essentially that's all you need to do is check out LinkedIn Jobs. With over 70% of LinkedIn users not actively visiting any other job board but LinkedIn, you could be missing out on some major talent. LinkedIn Job connects you with qualified candidates in just 24 hours, helping you find professionals that fit your business needs, even those who aren't actively searching for jobs. LinkedIn has the tools to help you hire faster. It's that simple. Ready to take your hiring to the next level? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege today. All right, let's get LinkedIn off here and get Little Red back on. I appreciate LinkedIn, but we want to talk to the man. All right, brother. So last year you went to Butler. You talked about it earlier that, you kind of want all the smoke there. Are you going anywhere else? Are you gonna head over to?
Yeah,
Man,
I mean,
what are the plans?
Yeah, after talking with Jeff Lowe about DePaul last year, what he said, like,
Yeah,
sports side, we're gonna link up with Jeff Lowe. We're gonna link up with him in Chicago, January 1st.
Ooh, that's awesome.
I mean, we're off to a pretty hot start. The 21st of December, I'll be at Butler. I'll be at DePaul on January 1st. I'm gonna be at Nova on January 8th. Unfortunately, with the new job, I'm going to have to take some time off.
Yeah.
Really not going to be able to hit the road as much driving-wise. Obviously, last year it was more of a remote role. This time around, I'm in a more customer-facing job. But I got to make it back out to Cincinnati. I got to be out in Xavier. Just love that arena.
Yep.
Another plug for Dana Gardens. Had an awesome couple of pints there before I drove home immediately after the game. That was god awful. Really want to be at that Nova game though on campus. I think that's going to be electric. It's also going to be so strange to play in front of 400 fans.
That's January 8th.
DUI checkpoint walking into Villanova last year, and they took that away from their students, honestly, by playing us at a small arena. That's going to be a blowout. That's going to be a 40-point blowout because you got to find some tool of motivation, right? And
yeah.
They think we're not big enough for what is Wells Fargo? I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, Wells Fargo Center where
the
Sixers play.
They don't think we're big enough to be at Wells Fargo anymore. I'm concerned with that athletic director. We'll have to have Dave reach out, but that'll be fun. Yeah. And obviously, ending the year, I'd love to be at Marquette. That's a Saturday, so that's kind of doable.
Yeah.
I'll never be in Creighton. I just can't find a way to make it out there. It's always on a weekday. and it's just bananas getting Omaha. Going to fly to Kansas City, or am I flying to Omaha? What am I doing?
Listen,
And I'll be at Providence.
Listen, and Creighton fans, if they hear this, are going to be pissed off at me, but I don't care. Nothing screams East Coast like Omaha. I mean, come on, man. Like, I get it. Like, so like what annoys me about people get, like you said, the Xavier guy was all like, well, that's what you get for trying to leave the Big East. It's like, guys, you came to the Big East when you basically
Atlantic 10.
Yeah, I mean, you're from the A10, but also is Xavier on the Atlantic Coast? No, it's in Cincinnati. Oh, Creighton's in Omaha. Forget about regionality. It's just, it cracks me up though. Like, nothing screams Big East like Omaha. All I think about when I think of Omaha is the College World Series.
Yeah,
I mean, I forget that Creighton's there. Like, I'm not saying that to be disparaging. Like, I just don't even acknowledge it.
Really don't take him too seriously. I think McDermott, he's got to be out of there after this year. Ohio State.
He's a great coach too.
Ohio
You're
State
right.
He's got to be at Ohio State. That's like a mortal lock. That's the little red lock of the day.
Oh, okay.
What the hell do I know? But McDermott's gone. That's a rental. I really want to see Xavier bounce back, a healthy Fremantle. Like, I want the Big East to be really cutthroat. I don't want it to be 3 or 4 dogs at the top. Marquette's always going to be there. We're always going to be there. Creighton will be there. I want the Villanovas. I want Seton Hall beat us last year. That was a weird one to be at.
Right.
Klingon went down that game, but like Providence is obviously back, and English is very serious, very likable coach too. Shout out to Leb, #the kidney.
Yeah. Hashtag the kidney.
Hashtag the kidney. I can't wait for that shirt to get in. I'll probably wear that maybe once and never again. Just buy it just to support. Buy it just to support.
It's okay.
But yeah, I don't know. The schedule doesn't really allow, to circle back to the initial question, doesn't really allow for me to really drive too many crazy places this year. My car is dying. My car needs a break.
I got you. Well, before we go, let's give a little love to Dan Meehan at Exit 68. We're both rocking our shirts. You got the wrench and we got a little red.
Haters are pissed. Haters are pissed.
Love it. Yeah, if you guys love these shirts and others, I don't know, is Little Red for sale, or is that custom for you?
I'm not for sale. I'm not. We had an issue with the original shirt that I bought. I bought the Exit 68 shirt.
Yeah.
It took like a month to get here. Talk about customer service. Reached out to me on a different social. Hey, listen, man, I feel bad you didn't get this in time. I see everybody opening theirs on X. And he's like, listen, I did a little custom piece. I didn't ask for these. These were a gift. They were given to me. I didn't pay for these. I want more smoke, so we're going to send one to Jeff Goodman.
Nice.
Outside of that, and my friends group, who cares? Like, that somebody gifted me these shirts. Who cares? But I'm rocking the hell out of it. Shout out to Dan and Exit 68, just doing a phenomenal job growing the brand.
Listen, I told Dan this, like, you don't even, I said, once if you want to sponsor a segment of the show, cool. But you know what? Your stuff is cool. I'm going to talk about it on the show anyway. So
Luke's wearing it in pictures. It's only a matter of time before I get one in Tom Moore's hands. That's my guy.
Yeah.
And everybody else will probably refuse to wear one because of my political beliefs, but we'll leave that at that.
Yeah. Don't talk about that on the show. That's not for that. All right, y'all. Listen, this has been an awesome show. I love having Little Red on. He's my guy. We're excited about this UConn schedule because guess what? You said something so perfect earlier. When this schedule drops, you start to think about how close this stuff actually is. And I mean, we're 53 days away from college basketball. So it's less than 2 months away from college basketball season. I can't wait. Well, thanks for jumping on, my man. I got to plug one more thing. If you are into college football, please check out the college football podcast here on Locked On with Spencer McLaughlin, conference realignment, NIL, all things college football playoff. You can find it on LockedOnPodcastNetwork.com. Look for Spencer McLaughlin, and you should have that no problem. This has been another episode of Locked On UConn. I'm your host, Mark Zanetto, for Little Red. We wish you a staying connected, stay locked in. Make sure that toughness meter is always rising. And as always, go Huskies.
Let's go.